Alright boys, welcome back to the channel. First tactic video of FM21. I try and do a couple of these across the series. I don't just pluck tactics from the internet and then show them off. These are tactics that I've put together, that I've built. Some have failed, some have done well. This one's taken a fair bit of time to get right, but over the course of season 3 with Settable, predicted to finish 6th. Top half of the table, they kind of wanted him. We ended up winning the league, score lots of goals. Changed a couple of things, which I'll show you in a minute, just to help you in a little bit more solid. As you can see by the thumbnail, it is a 4-2-4. We're going to go through it, and then I'm going to show you a couple of clips just to show off what the tactic can do for you. Alright guys, make sure you smash a like on today's video for me, muchly appreciated. I have got a 3-4-3 in operation as well with Bilbao. I'd like to show you that at some point. Not quite happy with that yet, but this one has been fantastic. We're looking at pace and power. Right, so the tactic looks like this: 4-2-4, very attacking. This mentality, for one, is thing that I've changed. I have been dominating games in the 3rd tier. We've won the 3rd tier, and then I've started the 2nd division and done very, very well. So I would just go on a line of caution. We did have positive for a long time, and then I did find against teams that were sort of like down near the bottom of the league that we were just struggling a touch. And I just thought, right, it'll just get us up the park a little bit quicker, a little bit more direct. We then moved that up to much higher tempo. As you can see, we've got pass into space on. We've got 2 wide players. We've got 2 strikers. The strikers that I look behind, even though the roles are the same, we're looking at pace, work rate, and can finish. That's all I've been really looking at for them. Even if they've got a little bit of physicality, so if they're over 6 foot, the decent strength and stamina, they're bonuses as well. So in possession, I've kept it's pretty simple. Passing into space, obviously, because we've got the 2 wide players and players with a little bit of speed. It naturally puts you at slightly more direct, much higher tempo. Time wasting never. Everything else, I did have hit crosses on early. I've taken that off. Mixed crosses, just keeping it varied. If you've got big men as well, if you've got maybe 2 players that are 6 foot and that are really good in the air as pressing forward, you could maybe put that on crossing early. Be more expressive. I haven't touched any of that. Be more disciplined. No. Run at defence, I did have on for a little bit, but ideally I just want the 2 wide players running at, and they will do that because they're natural to it. In transition, we're doing shorter kicks just to get us playing a little bit. I just didn't want to go with, right, distribute quickly, we'll knock it over the top. We have got a couple of players that could play. Our fullbacks are pretty good as well on the ball, so it's important to try and play a little bit of football when we can. I thought taking shorter kicks, distributing maybe to the wide players, to the centre halves, the fullbacks, will just get us building possession a little bit better. Out of possession, we've gone for the moment. This may change and you may have to tweak it yourself, but it has been working very well for us because we've sort of like got 4 players in attacking areas. It does make sense to try and squeeze up the park and win things higher up. So we're going much higher defensive line. Just be careful on pace. Something that I have been looking at and making sure, obviously, you have a sweeper keeper. Extremely urgent pressing. That's a personal preference. Doesn't necessarily need to be that. Knocking it down to more urgent definitely is something you can do. I do sometimes get stuck in on, but I've just kept that off for now. That's once again personal. If I find that we're being a little bit too passive in our tackling, I sometimes then put that on in order just to get involved in the game a little bit more. I sometimes tweak that during a game if we're not playing well, if we're not getting close to opposition. I do tend to go and put that on so we can break the play up a little bit quicker. And I've got prevent short distribution on just because we have 2 big, strong central midfielders. So ideally, I just wanted that goalkeeper to kick it, and then we would naturally win possession that way. And obviously, with us having 2 strikers up there, it does make sense to try and to push on and stop them playing out from the back. So that is the instructions. The team itself, we've got a sweeper keeper on attack. Remember, you're squeezing up high, so it's important to have that on. We've got a bit of a lopsided formation here, so we've got wing back on support. So what I've got him on his personal instructions, his position instructions, these are all natural. I've got him crossing from deep, and I've also got him sitting narrower. Now, the idea of that is because on the left-hand side, we've got Diaz, who's a wing back on attack, very adventurous. We're going to have Sagota, our inside forward, cutting in into these positions in here and going and getting involved in the front 3. Diaz coming round. So what I thought was, just to be a little bit more secure, he would go and support the 2 centre halves to start with, And then obviously, because we've only got 2 men in there, I do find him often sitting in these areas here, so he does help the central midfield. I've then got crossing from deep on, just so, because I don't necessarily want him going on the overlap around Ferreira. I just thought if he crosses from deep, he's only going to be crossing from these areas, which is fine. It will stop him potentially going on the overlap a little bit. And then it's a different variety. Ferreira is very attacking. He gets into these areas here. He hits the byline. Just thought, right, it gives us a little bit of variation in our play, with him probably crossing from the byline, him crossing from the byline, and then just every so often, Pacheco, my right back, wing back support, crossing from deep. But remember, personalised position instruction. I've got him sitting narrower, so he sits in there. He supports Dakari and Revan, my 2 centre-halves, and he also supports the 2 midfielders. In the middle of the park, I have found ball-winning midfielder on defend is a tremendous position in FM21. I've had a lot of success with it. Not used it, I don't think, hardly ever. I've just found deep line playmakers, especially in tempos like this, when the pace is so quick, where we basically want to get the full-back forward. We want the inside forward cutting on his right foot. We've got 2 pacey forwards. Sometimes you don't necessarily need a really creative player in there. I am playing at a lower level as well, so often your deep line playmakers really struggle with strength and stamina and tackling. This is a 2-man midfield as well, so what I've got is a ball-winning midfielder on defence, someone who's just going to sit there and be solid, break things up. And then once again, another Wadja is a box-to-box, but he's 6'1". He's pretty physical as well. So I've got 2 physical players in there that are going to do the dirty stuff. They'll keep it simple. All I want them to do is to get the ball, feed it out wide, feed it into the striker's feet, play it out wide to obviously to the wingers, and then support play from behind the ball. They're not going to get too far forward. Wadja will eventually join, but Martin's my ball-winning midfielder. He's literally just going to sit in there. I think that's key, especially when you're pressing high up the field as well. Having 2 central midfielders that are very good at breaking the play up is important. Very good. Martins and Wadja are very good at stopping counter-attacks. Good physically, good tackling, good work rate, getting back, winning the ball back for your team, stopping the counters. And then in wide areas, we've got inside forward on this side, cutting in. He is actually left-footed, so Gotta is actually left-footed, which I haven't found a problem, because last season he had 14 assists and 12 goals. He kind of cuts into these areas here, sort of at the edge of the box, but instead of hitting with his right foot, he just hits it with his left foot, and I've not had a problem with that. Ferreira is a very good young prospect that we've got on that right-hand side. Work rate, I think, is important for a winger, so always have a look at that, especially if you're pressing high up the pitch. Ferreira is very good at winning the ball, very good at dribbling, can finish as well. When the ball's on the other side, you do often see him getting in at the far post. He's on attack, maybe on support he wouldn't, but on attack he does get right into these areas, which I think is good, especially if the 2 strikers, Yakuba and Duke, are very good at working the channel. So often you'll see Yakuba getting into these areas here, Duke will be getting in the middle, and then Ferrara will be the second body getting in there. And then up front, 2 pressing forwards. It's just preference. I've just found it works very well. Remember, it's quite a simple, basic tactic. We're looking at these boys to cause problems with their pace. He's only got 13 pace, but at this level, he has been pretty good. Finishing 13, work rate 14. Have a look at those. Stamina and heading is also stuff that I often look at for pressing forwards, especially when you're expecting balls in the box. Remember, we've got a winger on this side, someone that I've asked to cross early from deep, Diaz on the overlap as well, so there's going to be opportunities to balls in the box. And even though they're the same role, they work pretty well. For this tactic and what you want, balls out wide, balls in the box, 2 strikers working the channels, fast tempo, working hard, trying to get the ball up high at the pitch. It all works pretty well. So that's the basic, the tactic. There's no more other sort of like positional tweaks that I've made in player instructions and stuff. The old one, as I said, my right wing back, I've got him sitting narrower and then crossing from deep, just to give us a little bit of variation on that side. And then obviously sitting narrower, so he supports the 2 centre halves and also helps out in the midfield every now and again. Okay, I'm just going to show you a couple of clips. All right, so from pre-season, remember this was the league. If you're not following the series, the Special One series, this was me last year. So stages, we were predicted to finish 6th, 101 points out of 46 games, 89 goals. We did concede a few, but that was in the first half of the season. Tactically now, defensively now, we're doing a lot better with wing back not as far forward, and then two kind of defensively minded, strong defensively players in there has helped me out a great deal. And then we've started the season in a new division. We've already beaten Chavez, favourites to go up in the cup. We've beaten them 5-2, Chavez 3-0, and then we've just beaten Casapia 2-0, who were predicted to finish 8th and sort of like top half by the looks of it, and a mid-table team in Casapia that we're expected to beat, but we've beaten them comfortably. We've absolutely battered them. Chavez in particular had won the division in the first season, got relegated, and then finished 4th last season, so obviously favourites for it, and we've just played them. I'll tell you what, if we go to the game, we'll use this as an example. The Chavez game, away from home, 4-2-4, we went attacking. I was debating to go positive, but I thought, no, I just want to give it a few weeks and see how we get on. 19 shots, XG of 1.32, but they're more in particular for them being at home, no shots on target from 2 shots. Obviously XG very, very low. Decent amount of possession, 88% 88% passes completed, which for us when we're playing slightly direct is pretty good. And then the goals, let's see the goals. So here's the first one. I think it's Ferreiro, the striker, the right winger, so you can see he's in a decent area. Little dink, duck, Ferreiro, Bosch. But that mainly is because Ferreiro's on wing attack. He's always going to be attacking that fast stick, looking for flick-ons, looking for balls in the box. And then the second goal, actually my right back does end up scoring this one. So as you can see, there's my wing back on attack. He's going forward, acting as a left winger. I tend to not use complete wing backs because what they tend to do is roam from positions. I've got him just on wing back attack. That means that gets higher and he stays wider. So he's up there, obviously, because Sagota is there. There's my inside forward. He's coming and getting involved in the play. My two central midfielders staying quite defensive. They'll just sit in there, able to stop any counter-attacks. There's my right wing back, who's he's not sat in. I imagine if he was on wing back attack, he would be in these areas here. Can you see just behind me there, look? He would probably be in these areas here. So he's just in a position where if there's a loss of possession, maybe it comes in here. This guy picks it up. He'll then be able to tuck in and help out. But as you can see how it works out, we keep it simple. Two central midfielders. Always, as you can see, Ramirez has played it, but just supporting the play. Nice bit of football between the strikers and the wide man. Pacheco then gets around. Even though I've not got overlaps in, wing-back support, he'll still do it when the time is right. Okay, so that was that performance. Let's show you the Casapia 2-0. Right, okay, first goal is just, it's not so much the finish itself, but it's just how we get the ball. So obviously, Diaz, there's our left wing-back. Sagota's sitting in quite narrow, but then he has gone for a run out wide. He is left-footed, so we'll tend to go for it. Cross cleared, but Diaz is in a very attacking area, picks it up. He then has a run himself. Cross blocked, out for a throw. But as you can see, overlap once again. There's Pacheco, look, in an area, sitting narrower, very key. Any kind of blocks, because there's my two central midfielders. There's no one in here, but if the ball, they maybe miss a 50-50, Pacheco is in an opportunity, my right back, to get the ball back. And I think the goal, it's just very simple. Little knock, set, finish. Very simple, but once again, that's all come from Diaz, the left wing back, being very aggressive. Second goal, I think these are down to sort of like 10 men now. Once again, two central midfield just picking up. I think they picked up the seconds. Yeah, once again, it's come from a goal kick. We're asking the keeper to kick it long when we've got that nice defensive base in there. There's my ball-winning midfielder. Decent football. Pacheco, once again, sitting narrower, not getting caught out. A bit of a lazy punt that, but two simple passes. Two midfielders just keep it ticking over. Get two central midfielders in there that'll just sit, play it simple, get the other players in. So he slipped in Ollie Youngs there, who then put in... Ollie Youngs was my right midfielder at that point, and then slipped in a lovely pass. Get these four to be the winners. These guys, the two midfielders, just to sit and break up play. Okay, last little thing we'll show you is the 5-2 that we had in the cup, another team in our league that we've just come into. Okay, so my right back, Pacheco, has just had a shot, quite narrow at the moment. He's just had a shot blocked. Nice look once again, defensive midfielder, waiting for. They are playing 2 up, so he's just keeping an eye on them, supporting behind the ball. I think he probably gets it. He does. Just simple. Switch out right. Diaz, because his wing back on attack, been very aggressive. Allowing room. This is the key. Having a wing back. I know it's maybe most of you may know, but having a wing back on attack and having your inside forward as an inside forward and not a winger is very important, because he will naturally drag a player in and opens out the space to get an overload on that left-hand side. Diaz is in, and there you go. Sagotta, my inside forward, tapping in the rebound, but him cutting inside and creating the space is the key. Second goal, striker once again, narrow right back, and this one's just a simple ball over top. Lovely finish, and then here we go, counter-attack this time, breaking up the player, trying to hit early. It does help. It does help having 2 players up there that are kind of decent in the air. Not the greatest of finishes, but counter-attack. 2 players, because if you're going to be a little bit more direct, you probably need your strikers to be decent in the air. Duck one, a flick on. Very simple, but very effective. Here we go again for the third goal. Diaz getting forward. Simple and give and goes. Sagotta's looking to come inside. Diaz is already on the overlap. As you can see, as the play goes wide, my midfielder here, you can just see him, my right back, he's just starting to come inside. Look, sitting narrow. Diaz into Sagotta. It's decent football once again. Ramirez, Wadjet in decent positions, just backing up play when needed. Ramirez puts it in this time, and Orla Young's at the fast stick. Winger on attack, getting in at that fast stick. I think if it was winger on support, he wouldn't score as many goals as what he is doing, our right-sided midfielder. And then, even at the end, our ball-winning midfielder on defence. I don't know what he's doing in there, but he's got himself on the score sheet. Alright guys, that is it. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know if you're going to use it. I'm going to put a direct link download in the description below. Go download it. Then what you need to do is, to get it into the game, you basically just need to head over. Let me just show you very quickly. Once you've got it downloaded, head over to Documents, Sports Interactive, Football Manager 21, and then just put it in Tactics, paste it in there, and then once you're back in the game, all you'll simply do is go into your Tactics, go there, and then load Tactic, and then pick whichever one it is. And it's as simple as that. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you're going to use it. Very simple, 4-2-4, not that many playing instructions, pace, power, aggressive players in the central midfield. I've now built my squad around the tactic, so you may struggle with it to start with. I've gone for 2, obviously, attacking 2 strikers that can run in the channels, good in the air, work hard, 2 central midfielders that are very aggressive, can win the ball back. My left wing back is very, very good at going forward. Right winger is a striker who has then become a winger, so his finishing skills are very, very good. So he'll get you 15, 20 goals a season, hopefully, out there. And yeah, that's it. Let me know down in the comments if you're going to use it. Hopefully, I'll have another one of these coming. I'm working on my 3-4-3 with Bilbao, different style of play. As I said, I don't just get random tactics off the internet and then do a video on it. These are my personal tactics that I'm using for my main saves. Go check out the special one. It's a story based around me, Jose Tarquinio, as I'm trying to follow on the same path as Jose Mourinho. We're only about 13, 14 episodes in. Go and check them out in the playlist. Be muchly appreciated. All right, guys, take care. See you at the next one. See you later.